What's up, guys? It's Eddie here from Stock Hours. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video. I was requested to make a video on Bookmap, how to get it, how to use it, and essentially how to read it, right? So Bookmap has the one I personally use is on Thinkorswim. So Thinkorswim has two versions. They have a paid version and then they have a free version. The paid version is like $40 a month. It's nothing crazy, but Bookmap also has its own application, like it's its own separate application, right? But they're just partnered with Thinkorswim. But you can go on the Bookmap website, which is a little bit more pricey, but I think you get a little bit more features. So I think with the actual Bookmap application, you pay a bigger fee, and I also think you got to pay for live data. A live data subscription, right? So you get like real-time quotes and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of just stick with the Thinkorswim, because I don't really need all that. You know, I have it all on Thinkorswim, right? So how you get it on Thinkorswim is you go to the support tab and you create a support request, right? And then you type out something like, I would like to get Bookmap, please. And then you would send it, right? And then the agent replies to you with they'll usually reply with like in seconds. So it literally takes like no more than like 5 minutes, and they're gonna ask you, do you want the paid version or the free version? You can go which whatever one you want. But the free version only comes with like 3 stocks, right? It comes with Apple, it comes with Tesla, and I believe the ES futures. So if you're anything like me, I would just go with the free one, you know, just to test it out and stuff like that. And me personally, I like to use the ES chart to trade SPY options or SPX options whenever the opportunity presents itself, right? But that's enough of that. And then once you get the Bookmap, you'll have it up here on this tab, right? You'll have to restart your Thinkorswim and you'll have it on this tab, and you can really use it however you want. But that's what I'm gonna go over right now. So essentially what Bookmap is, it's just so you know how we have level 2? You know how we have level 2 and time and sales? So you got the time and sales here and level 2. This is the exact same thing, but it's better visualized, if that makes sense, right? So with level 2, right? So we go back to the chart. With level 2 is just limit orders, right? So if you know anything about limit orders, they're just passive orders that sit on the order book until price comes and fills those orders, and those are just passive buyers or sellers, right? So that's essentially what level 2 is, right? I'm not going to get too in depth with level 2. And then you have time and sales, which is kind of like your receipt for the transactions. But what Bookmap allows you to do is to visually see that level 2, right? So let me show you how this works, right? So I like to, you know, you can set it to however you like. You can, you know, show the whole map. It's a heat map essentially, right? So you can see different levels where different people are at. These are all limit orders. So the thing that you see in the red, these are all limit orders, right? So the darker they are, the heavier that size is on that limit order, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory, right? And then how the bubbles work, these are just basically volume bubbles, but they're also market orders. So the difference between a limit order and a market order is that the limit orders, like I explained earlier, they sit on the limit, on the order book, my bad. And how market orders work, those are just aggressive orders, you know, those don't sit on the order book, you know. So let's just say we want to buy something, right? And we don't want to wait for price to come reach a certain price, right? We just want to get it like that, right? So that's what a market order is, you know. It's not going to sit on the order book. You're just going to press buy and you're going to get filled. So that's what a market order is, and that's what these bubbles represent. So if you see, right, so look at this. You see right here, and the thing I like about Bookmap, right, is you can see where people are coming in at on certain levels. You can see if people are spoofing or not. So like something like, let me see if I can find a spoof on this thing, right? Let me see. I don't think there's any. Let me see. This wouldn't be considered a spoof, but like look at this, right? So there was a limit order here, and then you can see that he pulled that order. Whoever this was, they pulled that order and then they brought it back in, right? So you can see exactly where people pull orders and where they don't, right? So like let me see if I can find a better example. And the thing I like about Bookmap also is you can go back in time and see where people got filled and stuff like that. Um, and then like if you hover over a bubble, you can see the volume on that actual bubble, who got filled, and it shows you the actual, price at where it got filled at. Um, so like right here, you see somebody kind of got filled, but they couldn't aggressively take that level over. So you can use Bookmap to your style of trading, right? So if you're a resistance or support and resistance breakout trader, you can use it that way, right? So you can use it to see, and I'm gonna actually show you a live example of how I used it on a Tesla trade a while back. Um, so essentially, like, look, you see how this guy right here kind of, there was a limit order, there's a buy order right here, right? And then these market sellers, they came in right here, they were selling, but this limit guy, he got filled, and then you see we're kind of starting to bounce here, and then you see how his order's not on the book anymore, but you see how like orders are coming in. It's kind of hard to like explain, but it's really self-explanatory. It's nothing crazy. You can use it to your own style of trading. You can see that at 4,000, there's a passive buyer waiting for 153 lots. So in theory, if price comes down here, we're gonna see this guy get filled, right? So if market orders start getting aggressive and they start coming over here to 4,000, my bad. This 4,000 guy, he's gonna get filled, and let's just say we wanted to short the market at 4,000, right? So we want to see these bubbles get aggressive below that 4,000. So once you see these bubbles start getting aggressive, and the way you see that they get aggressive is by the size of the bubble. So you see how this bubble's kind of bigger than this one. That means there's just a little bit more volume going through. So you see right here, we might even just get this here. Nah, but yeah, that's essentially how it works. I'll pull up an example on how I used it before. This is a trade I took sometime in like May. How this worked was basically I was looking at so Tesla had came into the supply zone, right? And I noticed that sellers weren't responding to that supply zone. So this means that buyers were creating value in the supply zone, and there wasn't enough sellers in that area. So you can see my position over here. It was a light position that I took. It was on a Tesla call in this supply zone, and you're gonna see how I do that. So
Rally, base rally, maybe. Let's go for it.
So you can see my order got executed there, and then you can see Bookmap down here on the right, and then you can see how
Nice.
what level is that? I can't really see. It's 680 that I was looking at.
Remember, we got that bullish engulfing on the daily as well.
Oh yeah, I was also looking at another thing that gave me a conviction to take this trade was that we had a bullish engulfing on this daily chart, and it was in a demand zone. So and then we were also breaking out of this trend line, so it was a pretty great setup in my opinion. And then if you look at it right here on the 30-minute, we were kind of retesting that trend line for a bounce up. So this kind of gave me a lot of, there was a lot of confirmation into this trade that I took.
Base rally, maybe. Or
And then I'll skip through it here a little bit. You can see how I use Bookmap. So pay attention to Bookmap, really. That's what we're going to be looking at. So you can see how, so another way you can use Bookmap, right, is, so let's just say there's a big level, right? Let's just say there's a big sell wall, right? So you can see all the walls. You can essentially use it to indicate that price can go to that level. Obviously, everything in the market isn't certain, right? There's nothing in the market is ever certain. But with Bookmap, you can visually see where people are willing to sell at, and where price might be able to go, right? So that's one way you can use it, and that's how I was using it here in this
We really
trade.
just need ES and them to hold here.
So let me see how Tesla reacts, right? So look at right here at if you're looking at Bookmap on the bottom right corner, you see how there's sellers coming in. You see how on the limit order, you see how on the order book, my bad. You see how on the order book, they're getting filled, right? So there's people selling, but it's not really aggressive. And then you see how this bubble right here just breaks through. You see how that bubble just breaks through that limit sell order, and then it breaks through the next level. So it's it's pretty
Bro, like it
self-explanatory.
was nothing.
And then you can see, we this was like a 18-minute trade, like a 16-minute trade, so obviously, there was some type of emotion involved in here. um, and then you see how we broke through, what was that, 680, I believe. um, you see how we basically took out that limit order. Look, I'm gonna point it out. You see how there was a limit sell here. Once we took that out, he was no longer there. So that's how you can use Bookmap. You
So
can
this is
see where
definitely good
there's
for Tesla.
sellers, where there's buyers, stuff like that.
As long as it doesn't do its own thing, you know?
And then you see how up here at 690, this is what I was targeting, right? So I was targeting 690, and you can see that there's a sell wall here. So I was using Bookmap to essentially see where Tesla could go, right? So I saw that there was people willing to sell at 690, so I was willing to hold Tesla, this Tesla called a 690. And then you can see we kind of pull back a little bit, and then right here we start bouncing around in price, right?
685, of course. That's logical.
You see how we start just bouncing around between price, and then look at this, we break through the wall again.
Amazon right, and then Microsoft on the right as well. So that's
So look, you can also see there's another example right here. So look, there was a seller right here. There was a limit seller. He came in randomly, right? But then as soon as he got taken out, he stepped in on the bid, so he became a buyer. Look, you'll see how price gets over, and then he comes in under, so now he becomes a buyer. And then look how market starts getting aggressive here again.
oof. Oof. Brody.
So yeah, right here, look, we start breaking through. So you see how we kind of reject right there? And then that limit order is still there. Some of that limits orders got filled, not all of them though, but there were still aggressive market buyers, market participants. And look at how at 690, we're kind of struggling there. We pull back a bit. We're hovering under. I was still comfortable holding this trade. You can kind of see we were bull flagging. We were making a demand zone. I was just charting throughout the video.
Hit it. Maybe like here, bro. For sure.
So if price had got below 681, I believe that's where I was gonna get out at, but it never did. So we were just making a higher low, right? Look at price, right? Price rallied. Obviously it's gonna have to take a break at some point. So I was pretty comfortable holding this trade, and just look how Bookmap works.
Look at that. They just gotta. They just gotta take out 690, bro. That's it. 690 and they're done.
So you see, look at that. We start coming up to 690. And then look, you see how we take that wall out? You see how we take the wall out, but there's no continuation. The bubbles weren't getting strong, so those guys, they kind of got they rejected it basically. But I think essentially Tesla kept rallying that day, but 690 was my target, so I went according to my plan, and I think I made
took
like
him, bro.
4 or something on that
bro,
trade.
There's some crazy fucks, bro.
I think I hit the sell button here somewhere.
Definitely gotta be careful here, for sure. I said let's not be greedy. We could take it, right? That's good. Not bad. If anything, that was pretty good. I know this could definitely keep running, but
And then that was essentially it, right? So that's kind of how Bookmap works. If you would like a more in-depth video, I know that was a little bit of a quick rundown on how it works, but I mean, essentially you can apply this to your own style of trading. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do it, right? So you can see right here, there's a limit order right here to buy, right? So there's like how much is that? That's like 110 lots around 39.96.50 and 39.96, right? So there's somebody willing to buy here, and then there's another sell lot over here. There's 107 lots at 4,005, right? So, and yeah, that's essentially how you use Bookmap. You can see how algorithms trade, so you can zoom in and see, you know, tick by tick, you know what I mean? So like you can see by the second how the market is trading, right? But you can zoom out as well and see, you know, the whole picture, the bigger picture. You can zoom in on how whatever you want to do, you know, you can see everything on it. You can see the whole order book on this thing essentially. So if you would like to see more videos on this stuff, more live trading, whatever you want to do or whatever you want to see, I'm sorry, you know, just let me know and we'll make that happen. You know, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.